On this episode of Coding with Kate, we are going to continue talking about E&M codes, Evaluation and Management codes that are found in the CPT code book. And today, I want to do a little refresher on E&M codes. So in the previous video, I'll have a link in the description, we learned that there are 3 key factors in E&M codes that define and designate what level of E&M code you'll be using for each patient. And there is history, examination, and medical decision making. Those are the 3 key factors that determine what level you're at. But today, we're going to focus on history. And I will already note that I was reviewing some of this and I'm a little baffled and confused. So I have no idea how this is going to go, but we'll try and get through it. So within the history, there are 3 different elements that help you define the level of history that was acquired. The first element is the chief complaint. So the chief complaint essentially is what occasioned the visit, what the patient came in for that they wanted the doctor to look at. And in the table that my textbook gave me, it gives several different categories of a chief complaint or components or descriptions, I don't know. So there's the location, quality, modifying factors, duration, context, associated signs and symptoms, severity, and timing. Okay, so when we are talking about the chief complaint, this is what each of these descriptions mean. The location, literally the location on the body where they're having pain, etc. The quality, so what descriptors they use for that associated symptom on the body. So is there a burning pain, dull, is it puffy or pus-filled or red? The modifying factors, an example would be improves when lying down or worse after eating. The duration, has this been going on for 2 months or since you started a prescription? The context, so what is happening when those symptoms arise? Is it when you're with people that are smoking? Who knows? The associated signs and symptoms would be a rash with blistering, nausea and vomiting, or abdominal pain. The timing, you would get any of those symptoms 2 hours after eating, or 1 hour after waking, or oh, it comes and goes, it's pretty intermittent. The severity, is it bad, intolerable, minimal, slight? So these are the different elements of the chief complaint, or they also call it HPI, history of present illness. So the describing information about what is presently ailing them and what occasioned the visit. Okay, so the next component of the history is the review of systems. So the review of systems literally is review of body system, body parts. And in this table, they have constitutional, either like weight loss, things like that. Eyes, ear, nose, throat, mouth is one of them. Respiratory, cardiovascular, GI, so gastrointestinal, GU, I think that covers urinary and reproductive systems. MS, musculoskeletal, I believe. Neuro, so the brain. And I always get this one wrong for pronouncing it. Integumentary, either way, the skin. Endocrine, so hormonal. lymphatic, or they just say HEM, so I don't know if they mean blood. I can't think of the full word for that one. Allergy or immune system, and then psychiatric, so mental health. So those are the review of systems. And then we have PSFH, past medical, family, and social histories. That is the last component of the history. So that is where the doctor asks the patient about any previous medical histories, either with illness, injury, surgery, medications, medical treatments, etc. The family history, does diabetes run in the family, or certain cancers, other illnesses that might be hereditary that continually run through your family. And anything social, so your relationships or diet, exercise, occupation, etc. that might influence or dictate what your current present illness could be. So these are the three components of the history. And I'll show an image of this table. So there is different levels of each history component that can be acquired. We have problem solved, expanded problem focused, detailed, and comprehensive. So if we're talking about the chief complaint, if the doctor acquired only 1 to 3 elements on this list, and that is what was documented in the medical report, they only received 1 to 3 of these elements, we would say that is a problem-focused history, I guess? I don't know. Also, what's confusing is expanded problem-focused is also 1 to 3, so I don't know what the difference is with that. Detailed would be 4 or more elements of the history of present illness, or a status of 3 or more chronic conditions that were documented. Comprehensive would be, which is the same as the other one, so 4 or more history of present illness elements, or status of 3 or more chronic conditions. Okay, so the chief complaint or the history of present illness can only be, that makes no sense, I don't know. The review of systems, the first level could be expanded problem focused, meaning they looked at one system specifically. So if you came in with a laceration, the doctor, and that was the only reason you came in, you have a laceration on your arm. And it's a very shallow laceration. The doctor only looked at that area of the skin, and that's it. That's one body system. He didn't look at your respiratory system or your eyes, ears, nose, throat. He didn't look at any of that. He just looked at the skin where the laceration is. That's it. So that would be expanded problem focused, I guess. A detailed review of systems would be if they looked at 2 to 9 of those body systems. A comprehensive would be they looked at more than 10 systems, or some with all others negative. I don't know what that means. Then we get on to our PFSH, past medical, family, and social histories. The first level of that would be if they had at least one item from at least one history area. So if they had one previous medical item, or they just told you one family medical history item. So just one, from only one of those locations, or history areas. Comprehensive would be specifics of at least 2 history areas documented. So if the doctor received previous medical and family history, we would call that comprehensive. So now my question is, now what? All right, let's look at an example that's in my workbook and we'll see if we can get it right. Okay, so our example that we'll be looking at says, patient seen in the clinic complaining of irritated throat, runny nose, and pressure in the cheek area for the past 3 days. Pressure seems to be worse today. Patient reports some coughing, but denies headaches. Just pressure in cheeks. Temperature has been normal. No daily meds. Takes Claritin 10 milligrams as needed. Okay, so I have my table under my plexiglass so then I can check off components as we find them. And then we'll figure out what level of history was obtained. Patient seen in clinic complaining of irritated throat, runny nose, and pressure in the cheeks area. So we know the location, cheeks and throat. Cheeks, throat, and nose. We also know the quality because irritated, runny, and pressure was all describing the location of the body. For the past 3 days, that would be duration. Pressure seems to be worse today. Severity? Maybe? Patient reports some coughing, but denies headaches, just pressure in cheeks. I don't think that falls into anything. Or associated signs and symptoms, because coughing? Maybe? Yeah, let's put it. We'll see what happens. Temperature has been normal. No daily meds. Takes Claritin 10 milligrams as needed. Would that be considered past medical? Because we know that she doesn't take any other meds right now. And she's only taking Claritin as needed. And with this example, we aren't given anything with the review of systems. So, history of present illness, we have 5 elements of the history of present illness. So that would put us in the detailed or the comprehensive section, because you need 4 or more elements of the history of present illness. There's nothing under review of systems. And the past medical, family, and social histories, we checked off 1. So that would be detailed, at least 1 item from at least 1 history area. So looking at our table, since detailed and comprehensive history of present illness both are the same, we could call this detailed because history of present illness detailed matches up with or is on the same level as the past medical, family, and social histories that we found. So we could call this a detailed history. Let's see what the answer says. So they say, why is that brief? Okay, so they say HPI is brief, just to the location, severity, and duration, which would put it at problem-focused and expanded problem-focused. So we had location, quality, duration, associated signs and symptoms, and severity. And the answer key is saying that it should only have been location, quality, and duration. Okay. So we got that wrong. Review of systems is problem specific. So I guess we should have put that it was ears, nose, throat, and mouth as the one system that was being reviewed. Whoops. which would put it under expanded problem focused. Wait, what? Hold on. So now it's saying review of systems is extended, 2 to 9 systems. How do they get 2 to 9 systems? Throat, nose, cheeks. And I guess cough would be respiratory. So ears, nose, throat, mouth, that's 1 body system. And then respiratory would be 2 body systems, which would put the review of systems in extended? I have no idea. No clue. And then the PFSH, the past family social history, whatever, is pertinent because of the medications. So we got that one right. So we got 1 out of 3 right. Yay. The history is determined to be the lowest level from all 3 categories. Okay, so you pick the lowest if they're kind of all over the place. You pick the lowest level of each one, I guess. Therefore, the history level would be expanded problem focused. Yeah, this is confusing. Now remember, this is just one key to finding the E&M code. There's still 2 other sections we need to talk about that we need to go through this crazy process before we can figure out what level of E&M code the patient we're coding for has been through. And we already got it wrong with supposedly an easy one. I have no idea. So I need to continue to work on this because this was confusing. You can subscribe to this channel so you get more notifications of the videos that I post, so you're always in the know. You can post comments below if you too are confused by this, or if you get it and you want to help explain it to me, because I would love that. And I will see you all later. Bye!